it's Nurse Jet, Nurse the Truth. I hope everyone's having a great day. So, little Sunny finally went to sleep gnawing her bone, and Nurse J is relaxed in her chair in her sitting room and smelling of incense. And I'm just chilling, guys. I have worked and I'm tired, as you can see. So, but Nurse J is never too tired to give truth. So, what am I going to be talking about right at this moment? So, I'm going to shift a little bit. And we're going to be discussing the law of one. What really is the law of one? Has this particular term been talked about by the ancients? Yes, it has, friends. And the first peoples on the earth that talked about this law of one was the ancient Egyptians. Is that not so profound? I have been talking about this for a long time. The Egyptian proverb, man know thyself. And in Thoth, he says, God is the mind, and the mind is in the matter. And, it's just so profound that God, the force, the all, the creative prime, is consciousness. But the law of one? The law of one is the comprehension that all things are made from an intelligent energy and are a part of the all. My Ancient Egyptian Religion book by E.A. Wallace Budge talks about that the ancient Egyptians knew about the all creative force. From the very beginning of time, the very beginning of time. Whether it started with the Ethiopians and came up when they unified the two lands. The law of one is a sacred science of the mechanics of the Christ consciousness and are the natural laws governing our universal creation. As God Thoth said, as above, so below. The universe has a law, and so does mortal men have a law. The all is the recognition of the eternal truth, is eternal love, and eternal love is the organic consciousness of the infinite creator. Eternal love, consciousness embodied in a form, is unity intelligence and simultaneously recognized as the inner light of Christos. Unity consciousness is one with God, and unity consciousness ignites the inner light of the Christos. The inner light of the Christos, when actually in form, is the embodiment of an eternal God human. And this is exactly what the ancient Egyptians said. God Thoth was the God of wisdom, truth, knowledge, and the wife goddess Ma'at was the law. Even Jesus says in the scriptures, real or not real, says, the disciples ask, when is the kingdom coming? He says, look high nor low. You will not see the kingdom with observation. The kingdom of God is within you. So, Christian friends, I have to ask you a question. Are you actually looking for a rapture? Are you actually looking for tribulations and the sky splitting and Jesus coming on a Pegasus white horse with a sash going King of Kings and Lord of Lords and a double two-edged sword out of his mouth, slaying and slashing people? That goes totally contradictory what it's being said in the book of Luke. Go look it up. I believe it's in chapter 29. I think it's either 21:19 or 17:21. It's one of those between 17 and 19 or 17 to 21. Anyway, all you got to do is put it in Google, the kingdom of God is within you, what Jesus says, and it'll give you the chapter and the verse. So, is this person going around actually hoodwinking people and telling them that he's actually going to come out of the sky? Or is this sage, prophet, alien, whatever you want to call it, telling you that the kingdom is within yourself? This is what ancient Egyptian had been trying to do and was telling their people all along. And they knew this. But as time went on, as kingdoms rose and they fell, the ancient knowledge was lost over time. And other religions formed off of other religions and took from here and took from there, just like, all the other stuff. And this is where we're at today. But the universal consciousness is waking up again. It's trying to tell us, go to your ancient paths, that those are the good ones. So, be at one with all, as one is all with God. Every soul is taking the same journey, friends, but each soul has evolved at a different level. The teachings of the law of one describe the spiritual laws that govern our spiritual evolution of each dimension. It is a single philosophical system, friends, that system of world humanism which merges cosmology and science and human rights and spiritualism. The Kabbalion, the book called the Kabbalion by the Three Initiates, talks exactly what I'm telling you now. And these were the three initiates of God Thoth and his schools, or Hermes, whatever you want to call them. And it talks about this cause and effect, polarity, the universal laws, the human laws. Thoth is the writer, he's the scribe. He wrote the holy words of the hieroglyphs. So if God Thoth writes the hieroglyphs, and then he teaches man what these words say, then evidently he had to give us what they meant. And for man to follow what the words said. So, simply put, the law of one is the universal truth, and he stands for truth. That all is one, and it is the truth taught to Christ when he proclaimed, love your neighbor as yourself. We all are direct expressions of the one source. The law of one is example reality as well as a creational covenant with the founder races. The family entity of Ra, the Melchizedek, the aura host races. The law of one is practiced by the advanced races that promote self-responsibility and accountability and our universal time matrix. Through the comprehensive of the energetic interconnection that exists between all living things, the law of one expresses and acknowledges the interconnection value and independence of the spirit, of the consciousness that animates all things. You know, I was thinking about that today, my little Sonny. Consciousness went into this dog. Pure spirit. And she loves me. She cuddles with me. She puts her head on my arm and on my neck. She licks me. She kisses me with her tongue when she's happy. That is an active, collective thought. She loves. She expresses herself the best way she can to get my attention. But she can also do something that she's not supposed to do as well to get my attention that I call bad. Like biting the baseboards or tearing my shoe up. But I look into her eyes and I see a living being. How can you be cruel to an animal? So I ask you, friends, look at your animal as God. So, God Thoth, he talks about all of these laws. And the law of one is about practice unity consciousness. Practice loving yourself. And that's a hard one for me to do because I look in the mirror and go, you know, I could do this, I could do that. I don't like my hair, I don't like this. But I have to try to look at myself in a different way. Practice loving others. It's hard when you want to wring their necks after a long day. Practice loving earth and nature. You know, I've liked nature, it's okay. But as I'm getting older, I'm liking to be outdoors as far as like looking at different things. Service to others. And practice consciousness expansion. See, that is what I wanted to do. And I got my channel and I've reached out to over 900 and something people. And I'm happy about that. Practice responsible co-creatorship. Maybe get with another person on the channel. And go for there. And get bigger on that. And talk to people. So, God Thoth talks about this. So, the law that he gave. He is the voice of Ra. He's the self-begotten. He's the logos. He's the mind. So, if God, the creative consciousness itself is within us, then we must be as good as He. It, she. So there are many paths to the God source, and every person will have a unique path to connect with the source. So when we think of creative ways or focus on the oneness rather than the self, we expand our spiritual power and effectiveness in the world. Our spiritual practice should feel right for us and be at our personal capacity and spiritual level. All resources are given by the All One, and we should use these resources to serve the All One as part of our spiritual practice. Kindness above all. Honor where you are at. Take the time you need. Allow yourself to have the space to heal. Find the kindness to yourself. As you strengthen your core, you can expand your sphere of influence. Then practice the acts of kindness towards others. 1 second of kindness can elevate a child or person to accomplish greatness that allows them to find their soul. The soul is kind and loving, and the all is kind and loving. The inner Christos, the God consciousness, the Christ consciousness that the ancient Egyptians talked about, and even God Thoth, is a personal divine blueprint of the eternal God source consciousness energy from which all living things are manifest and made into being. The law of one is the law governing the eternal divine blueprint and consciousness energy of the inner Christos. Thus, they are interchangeable. To develop the inner Christos eternal blueprint, we must align and follow the principles of the natural laws and the law of the one. The law of the one is based in the true knowing of our highest expression, but that our direct relationship with the all is love, and this pure consciousness is expressed through our inner Christos, or living spirit. The ancient knowledge of the inner Christos that resides within our original divine blueprint belongs to all people, regardless of their religious affiliations or belief systems. The ancient spiritual wisdom of the philosophies of the law of one was common knowledge to all humanity until the Luciferian rebellion. This is when the planet was returned back to the Dark Ages at the end of the Atlantean cataclysm, when all of the original spiritual teachings of the inner Christos were eliminated and falsified. So, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth talks about the all, the prime, the source. And it talks about the sons of light and the sons of darkness. So, friends, if Thoth talks about this, and he is the god of Egypt, then there has to be some truth in this, I believe. If we have scriptures talking about all of this, and then we even have the 10 Commandments of Ma'at, but who wrote those commandments? Ma'at just makes sure that it's been doing, or you are doing, or you're trying to accomplish that. But a force had to reassure that we walk that way. So think about it, friends. Where is your path taking you? Is your path taking you down another road that's not keeping you on the highway? Or do you want to turn your direction and your path today to get back on the highway to your ancient paths that is good for you? Look deep within yourself and call out to the all creative consciousness force. Call out to the Neteru. They are on a vibrational force. There's nothing wrong with the old ways, friends. That's why they don't want us to find out about them. That's why knowledge is lost. But it's through all these reincarnated cycles of the sons of light and truth, things are being given to us. The veil is being ripped. The veil is coming down. And at the end of time, in the Revelation, it says that all things will be revealed. Abundance of information, World Wide Web. We can find anything at our fingertips. Knowledge is abounding. I have no fear, friends. You shouldn't have any fear yourself. Fear is what keeps you locked and trapped in your box, in your mind. If God is the mind, and the mind is in the matter, then you are only hindering God. So friends, this is a very serious video. And today, I hope you take the journey with me as well, to always stay on the ancient path of righteousness, as my indigenous friends say. I have a lot of indigenous friends on my channel. Shout outs to Africa and in the West. My Indian friends. So until next time, Hotep and Ashe. And if you're on the wrong path, friends, jump on the ancient path and call out to the Neteru. Have a great day, guys. Goodbye.